Good afternoon. This is the ShallowCross Sports Network bringing you another show, and we hope you enjoy it. Let's get right on into it. Morning again. This is the ShallowCross Sports Network with the AA bringing you a show. Gonna cover Tennessee this morning and some things that transpired over the last 3 or 4 days. Not a lot of info on recruiting going on right now. Tennessee is still awaiting the announcement from Sabian Hyder up in Virginia, as well as Tristan Keys, wide receiver that's formerly committed to LSU, but it looks like Tennessee's trying to flip him, and hopefully we'll get an announcement on that in the next couple of days or a couple of weeks or so. But one of the things, if Tennessee can pick up both of these kids as 5 stars, then they have a good chance of moving into the top 5 of the recruiting cycle for 2026. So we're looking at those 2 players, as well as Darius Gray. Darius Gray right now, he has Tennessee in his top 5. And then, of course, Joel White from Bell Buckle, Tennessee. He has Tennessee right now. It's down. It was down between Tennessee and Vanderbilt, but over the last few days, when he decided to not make his announcement, other teams has come in. I think Ohio State's in there, and Alabama, and I think Georgia may be in there, trying, along with Louisville. So that's the story going on with Joel White. But Darius Gray is a 5-star interior lineman, and Tennessee has been picked as one of his 5-star folks too. One of his 5 individuals that he's considering at the last minute. So we're waiting for commitments from these big-time players. The other thing is, we're not that far away. I say we're probably, we're less than 30 days away. No, we still have about 40 some days, maybe 47, 48 days before kickoff. I think Tennessee opens up on their first game against Syracuse on the 30th of August. So it's not that far around the bend. But just looking at old Shabazz 24/7 has him as a 3-star, but then his 24 Sports composite score is a 4-star, and he's being recruited by Tennessee, Ohio State, North Carolina, Penn State, and South Carolina. That's just to name a few. But he committed to Tennessee. He's probably going to rise up for as his rating once the football season starts for next year. And so that's the story on him. And then I'm going to see if I can find a video on him, his high school video. See if I can play that over there to you. But here is see if we can isolate on him. But this is Shabazz right there. So let's rotate back. So number 71 right there with the circle. And so he can block the little small defensive end. It's easy for him to block him. He's 6'6", 315 or 300, somewhere around there, 315 pounds. But he's showing here how he can block for the run. He's a very good run blocker. and he can pull, have strong arms at the point of contact, and he's gonna be an asset, man. I mean, Coach Ellerby there in Knoxville is gonna be happy to pick him up. So that's the story on Shabazz. He was the last one to commit over the last few days. So he adds to that offensive line room, and of course Tennessee really had to work hard to beat out Ohio State to get him. And then of course you got Darius Gray out there. Darius Gray's out there also, and he hasn't committed yet. And then of course the two other 5-stars. So there's 3 5-stars out there with a highly rated 4-star in Joel White that Tennessee is still waiting on, trying to get him in. And let's see, Tennessee, if you saw on my little screen there, Tennessee's picked 9th in several polls in the SEC and 9th overall in the SEC poll at the SEC Media Day. So it's going to be a tough sledding for Tennessee in accordance with the media outlets. Tennessee, I think, is a better team. I think they should be in the top 6 at least. They're looking at Tennessee because they don't have a quarterback, but Aguilar is going to be a whole lot better than what they expect him to be. And Aguilar's got a lot of playing time on his belt. So to me, that makes Tennessee. He has more playing time than Ilamiapa. And he's athletic too, and he's big, 225 pounds, 230 pounds, 6'3". So he's going to be able to help Tennessee in the offensive line. And right now, we'll have some young guys on that offensive line, especially next year. A lot of the old guys should be gone, but basically the whole offensive line, with the exception of the 2 kids that came in through the transfer portal, and that's Sam Pendleton and the Moy kid. Let me see if I can pop them up here too. But Sam Pendleton and Wendell Moy, they have a lot of playing time and experience. So the youngsters on the offensive line is only going to be Satterwhite and Satterwhite. He'll be the only youngster on the team on the offensive line. And then behind those guys, though, everybody's young. They're all freshmen. I think Shamrock Umar, he's a sophomore. And then Brian Grant, he's a junior at left tackle. And then, of course, Boo Carter's working in there as a slot receiver. So, but everybody's had playing time, a little bit of playing time. Gage Gunther, he's a freshman. Max Anderson, freshman. These are guys who are actually redshirt freshmen. And then, of course, Bennett Warren backing up David Sanders, who's a true freshman. So you got 2 freshmen, a redshirt freshman backing up a freshman. And you got redshirt freshmen all the way through, really backing up the players that's in front of them. So the team is relatively young. Pendleton, he's going to be around for a little while. Moy is a junior in the transfer portal, redshirt junior. And then, of course, Pendleton's a redshirt sophomore. So they're going to be young for years to go. Long as they stay there. Now, hopefully Tennessee will be able to keep those players engaged, and then they won't jump ship on them. Let's switch over to basketball. Tennessee picked up a kid from Israel, and let me see. They picked up a kid from Israel. He's a shooting guard. He played the 2 guard, and he can play the point guard. So he's basically a combo guard. And so that fills out Tennessee's roster right now, I believe. Let's see if I can pull it up and we'll look at it. But Coach Barnes and his staff has been doing their due diligence, especially on getting these players and going overseas and getting players. They've got, and these are all 2025 picks right here. Let's see here, I'm pop it over to you so you can look at it. But anyway, the kid that they picked up yesterday, he's 22 years old, I believe, but he's played in our amateur leagues for a long time. Let's see if they have him here. Okay, so we picked up Jacoby Gillespie, Jalen Carey, and Amory Abram in the transfer pool. That's 3 players: Vanderbilt, Maryland, and Virginia Tech, and Louisiana Tech. And then Trey Henderson's a true freshman, a 3-star guard. We picked him up, just regular recruiting. And then we also, in the recruiting class, we picked up Clarence Masaba. He's a combo guard too, and he's out of France. And then Dwayne Brown, he was a 4-star out of Alabama. Amari Edmonds is a 4-star. We picked him up, and he's out of Athens, Georgia. And then Nate Ament, who's a 5-star, the cream of the crop, basically. Picked him up, and so he was a 5-star. So Barnes is solidifying that team to get them ready for the season. And the kid's name is Burg. I haven't seen him on film, but I think he averaged like 11 or 12 points playing in a league, overseas league. And he's going to come in and give them some added depth. And just looking at that right there, Tennessee's roster is pretty well filled out. I know 24/7 I'm just looking at, they haven't put him down as one of the players, but his name is Burg. He's about, I think he's 6'4", I believe. Burg is. But soon as probably the season starts, Tennessee's probably going to be beating the streets for 2027 players. But like I said earlier, basketball is moving on, and then of course baseball had 8 players drafted, 4 in the first round, and then the rest of the guys were in the latter rounds. So that's good for them. Tennessee also has, I think, Ron Slade's going into the Tennessee Hall of Fame, former Vol. And then you also had another former Vol, Trey Smith. Trey Smith signed his contract, $93 million. Actually, $94 million with $70 million guaranteed. And then over, I think it was a 4-year or 5-year deal. And he was an unrestricted free agent. Actually, a restricted free agent. So they were going to franchise tag him. And the way it works is, if you franchise tag, then they got to come They got so many weeks or months or whatever to come up with a deal for you. And then, with that said, Trey Smith is making the money he deserves to make, and got 2 Super Bowl rings already. So he's going to be a mainstay on that Kansas City Chiefs offensive line for the next few years. the SEC Media Days ended on, I think, Thursday, I believe. McCoy, the cornerback, he's projected as a first rounder in every poll, and he was picked first team all SEC by the coaches for preseason. And Jamal McCoy, and then of course he's not going to be back to probably about the fifth game of the season, but we can get him back. Colton Hood, the defensive back we picked up with playing time from Colorado, he's going to hold down that position until Jamal McCoy gets back. And looks like most of the transfers that left Tennessee have found homes in other places. I mean, they're all over the place, but they found homes in other places. But going into the transfer pool without any film, without any playing time, is a gamble for these young kids. And I think the last word I had was the kid from Innsworth that played wide receiver. His brother plays linebacker for Tennessee now. They out of either Innsworth or David Lipscomb. He's already transferring out to his second team, so he left and went to Charlotte, I think, and now he's back. He's back out there in the portal again. So don't know what's going on with that. But it's a lot of kids left in that portal, especially I think summer drills start here in another week or so, and these kids got to be ready. But that's the story on Tennessee. Not a lot of news out there. I'll try to bring all the news to you that I can. So, like I said, the top players that Tennessee's after are Savion Hyder, Darius Gray, Joel White, and of course the Tristan Keys, the wide receiver down there that's committed to LSU. And I think Tennessee's going to flip those guys. I think Hyder is going to probably show up to Tennessee regardless. I think they're going to beat out. They got to beat out Ohio State and Michigan for him. I think it's Michigan they have to beat out, but they're doing a good job of working on him. The coach, what's his name, Gillespie. I think he's doing a good job of trying to get the running back into the fold. But right now, Tennessee is, just give you a quick look, Tennessee's has 13 commits for 2026, and they're doing a big thing by getting a lot of these 4-star players. But they got one of the top linebackers, two of the top linebackers in T.J. White and Braylon Rouse, and then they got interior linemen. They got one of the best interior linemen in the country in Deron Albert. And then, of course, Zay Anderson is a highly rated cornerback out of Greenville, Tennessee. And then you got Zach Groves is another highly rated defensive end. And he's out of Cross Plain, Tennessee, which is East Robertson. It's right up here near Clarksville over in Robertson County. And then, of course, all these other kids are 3-stars, but like I said, there's a lot of 3-stars starting in the NFL. And some of these guys could be the same way. But that's what's going on with Tennessee right now. And then, of course, some other new players they picked up. Joel Combe. Let's see. Combe is a 3-star, but he's a safety. And so we need all the safeties we can get. We beat out Wisconsin, South Carolina, Missouri, and Oklahoma State for him. And then he's 6'1", 192 pounds. So he'll be about 215. So once they get him on the right nutrition plan and so forth, and start feeding him. Then picked up a defensive end, Darrell Rivers. I watched Rivers on film. He's very good. Rivers may grow into a D tackle, or he may be a strong end, because he's close to 6'5", 270 pounds. And so that was a big pickup for Coach Garner and Coach Banks. The thing about it is, a lot of these guys are 3-stars, probably be 4-stars, and some could jump to 5, just depending on how successful their high school seasons are for the year 2025. And then Trey Smith is another local product that Tennessee signed in the last week or so. Let me see. And he can play. He's an athlete, but they picked him up as a cornerback. Watching him on film, he can play wide receiver also. He can play wide receiver, and he can be a good defensive back for Tennessee also. So he's very talented. 6 foot, 170 pounds, and he's out of Jackson North Side. Pretty good program down there, and you got a Jackson South Side also. So they produced a lot of players for Tennessee. And then, Trey Smith has cover skills. He has a lot of skills. Tennessee can use him in a lot of places. And then KJ McClain, he's another kid they picked up over the last 2 weeks. He's a 3-star, beat out Boston College, Central Michigan, and Duke, and James Madison. He has an 88 rating, and so he's out of Montville, New Jersey, St. Joseph Regional. Almost 6 foot, 165 pounds. He's a safety. And then Jalen Theodore, he's another cornerback that was picked up in the last couple of weeks. 6 foot, 171 pounds. Haven't watched him on film, but I'll get back with you and give an update on how he is. And then you got Thompson, who's a wide receiver. Luke Thompson, we picked him up. And I don't really know where they're going to play Luke. They're going to play him on the defensive side of the ball or on the offensive side of the ball. But he can play. He was recruited by Tim Banks, so he's probably going to be a defensive player. And so he's out of somewhere in Franklin, Tennessee at, I think, is it Franklin Road Academy? Or Franklin High School. He's a 3-star. And so he's going to help Tennessee a lot, too. And that secondary he's really... Coach is going out and getting Willie Martinez. He's going out and getting guys that can play in his system, that fits his system. And I'm going to watch some film on some of these guys I'm calling out to you. But that's some of the newer names that they picked up. And of course, another thing with the SEC Media Days, they mentioned Also, the top. They mentioned also the top 10 quarterbacks in the SEC, and number one was Sellers from South Carolina. Number two was Nessemeyer from LSU, and then number three was DJ Lagway from Florida, and then number four was Arch Manning from Texas, and then Diego Pava was the fifth best quarterback in the SEC from Vanderbilt. John Mateer from Oklahoma, who transferred in from Washington State. He is a good player too, and he's gonna make Oklahoma a whole lot better than they were last year. And then of course Marcel Reed, homegrown kid out of Nashville area, Coach Rod Reed's son. He is a lot better than where they have him. I think he should be right up there with Nussmeier and Lagway, but he's fully capable of doing a good job for Texas A&M. And then of course they got Taylon Green of Arkansas at number 8. Taylon Green, big guy, 6'6", 230 pounds. He is underrated. He's very underrated. And I can see him going to the NFL and getting a shot. Jackson Arnold, he was like a deer in headlights when Tennessee played him out there in Oklahoma. He transferred to Auburn. We'll have to wait and see what he's going to do at Auburn. And then Gunnar Stockton, he's number 10. Gunnar Stockton played a little bit, and then he's a gamer, and that's what Georgia's taking guys that all they were was just ball control, didn't make any mistakes, kept the ball flowing, kept the offense moving down the field, moving the chains, and they've actually won national championship with that type of player. I think you had Murray. You had Murray at quarterback, and I think the little quarterback, he's in the pros somewhere that they had a few years ago they won a national championship with. But Gunnar Stockton reminds me of those guys. And so we'll just have to see how well they perform. Now, I really do believe Aguilar should be in here, but we'll find out by the 5th game of the season. We'll know how good Aguilar is. But anyway, with that said, I covered most of the players that's in the 2026 class. And there's some good players. Those 3 stars, a lot of those 3 stars are very good players for Tennessee. But anyway, with that said, God bless you. And we'll see you on the next show. This is ShallowCross Sports Network with the AA. And we're out.